class, to the Layers of the Earth lesson. We are going to be learning so much in this presentation. Throughout the lesson, I want you all to imagine if you were able to dig a hole all the way to the center of the Earth. We're going to ask ourselves a few questions and be prepared to discuss these thoughts that you may have in class. So let's think about, what do you think you would find if you were able to dig a hole all the way to the center of the Earth? What do you think you would find? Do you think it would be the same as what we have here on the surface? Do you think of the Earth as one big solid planet or one big solid ball? What would happen if you went deeper into the Earth, below the oceans and the continents? Think about this. Just like a cake or a piece of pizza, the Earth has different layers. And in this lesson, we are going to learn about each of those layers. Here's a visual of the Earth's layers through a diagram. The structure of the Earth has a crust, a mantle, an outer core, and an inner core. So there are 4 layers that we are going to go over. The first layer is the crust. The crust is the outermost solid shell of the Earth. It is 10 miles deep of rock and loose material. This layer has the oceans and the continents. This is actually the layer in which we live on. This layer is very thin, made up of iron, oxygen, silicon, magnesium, and aluminum. So that's the first layer of the Earth. The second layer is the mantle. The mantle is 84% of the Earth's weight, made up of superheated rock, mostly made of solid rock. It lies between the superheated core and the thinnest, most outer layer, the crust. So the mantle is kind of right in between those two, the superheated core and then the outer crust. The third layer is the outer core. The outer core is the superheated lava, 3,000 miles beneath the surface in which we live. So 3,000 miles beneath that surface. This layer is liquid or fluid. It is liquid because the inner core, which we'll discuss next, is so hot it causes melting into the liquid magma. So the inner core, which is beneath this outer core, heats up the outer core so much that it becomes liquid. And this is because it's 9,752 degrees in the inner core. This is the 4th layer. The inner core is believed to be a solid ball of iron and nickel. This inner core is able to remain solid, though, because the center of the Earth exists in extremely high pressures. So in knowing the 4 layers of the Earth, and looking back at our diagram and the structure of the Earth, we have this thin layer right here, this gray area, which is the crust in which we live. We have the mantle, the red area. We have the outer core, which is this orange area. And then we have that very center inner core, which melts this outer core. And this inner core is the yellow part. So this structure of the Earth, we are going to actually create our very own structure of the Earth in a Play-Doh lesson activity. So in your collaborative groups, I want you to think about the questions at the beginning of the slideshow, and we're going to actually collaborate and make our own layers of the Earth. So we're going to use 4 colors, blue, yellow, orange, and red. And this is all going to be using Play-Doh to demonstrate the layers of the Earth. So step 1, you're going to roll the red Play-Doh into a small ball. So this small ball is going to represent the inner core. Remember, the inner core is that hot 9,752 degree ball. So we are going to create that inner core. Step 2, we are going to cover that inner core with the layer of orange. So we're going to use the orange Play-Doh, and we're going to cover that red ball, and this is going to be representing the outer core. Then step 3, we are going to cover that outer core with yellow. We are going to make a thicker layer and with yellow, and this is going to represent the mantle. The mantle, and remember the mantle contains material that gives Earth most of its weight. And then we are going to, in step 4, we're going to cover that yellow layer with our 4th and final color, blue. And this is going to represent the crust. The crust is where we live. The crust is the blue and the ocean and the green, the continents. And we are going to cover this all up with the final layer of blue to make our crust. It is made up of the rock and loose material. And then once we have made and done the 4 layers of the Earth, we will have a solid blue ball. And on the outside, it'll look just like a solid blue ball to anybody that doesn't know we've put layers into it. So in step 5, we're going to actually cut into the layers of this formed Earth that we have created. And we are going to gain a personal visual of the layers that the Earth actually has. So I have put a picture in this lesson to show you kind of what it's going to look like once we cut into our Play-Doh. Although it'll have different colors, and we're not going to have a gray crust, we'll have a blue outer like this layer. And when we cut in, we'll be able to see the mantle, the outer core, and the inner core in which we have made. So we will be able to discuss our questions that we are going to be talking about. We'll discuss all of these questions and discuss your thoughts and ideas, in which we will get into a deeper conversation about in class. I hope you guys all enjoy the lesson about the layers of the Earth, and I look forward to creating a demonstration of the layers in which we've learned about in class tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great day.